Welcome back.
Hello. You gonna address the elephant in the room real quick?
There's an elephant?
We missed last week.
Yeah, we've been... Yeah. Time does not equivalent to us. We don't believe in it.
Yeah.
It's never been a thing.
We couldn't really decide on a topic, and then by the time we decided on a topic, we were gonna go meet with another one of your friends.
Yeah.
And it was just it's a busy week.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to try to do 2 videos today?
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see how well this goes.
Yeah, but right now we're back. We're trying, hopefully, on a schedule.
We're doing our best. That's what matters. We're doing our best.
And that's what we do.
Yeah.
Like the koala, they're doing their best.
Like the sea turtles, they're trying their best.
Like our cat.
He's
not trying. He's
Speaking
just
of
sleeping.
cats, you want to tell them what today's topic is?
Pets! And all the glorious wonders they bring.
Especially when, like, you grew up with a certain kind of animal versus being with another one. So what we're mainly going to talk about today is cats and dogs.
Yeah.
You have more experience being around dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I have more experience being around cats. So...
And we could talk about the odd and end pet here and there that we have.
Yeah, like...
Snakes and lizards and fish. I've had crabs. Yeah,
That's a medical issue. You need to get that checked out. See, I can do that stuff too.
Alright then.
I'm joking. It's clean. It's fine.
Okay. So, what do we want to start with first?
What about pets we had as kids growing up?
Yeah. So,
I compiled a list to keep mine in track.
I mean, mine is very simple. I've mostly had dogs throughout my life. The earliest pet I remember having was a beagle named Oliver. He was a sweetheart. Loved that dog.
Aww.
Very lovely puppy. We've had another dog we had was named I think his name was Chloe, but we had to get rid of her because she was like really mean and bad.
Oh.
Yeah, so we were like, yeah, we can't keep this one. Apparently, her mother killed half her litter except her. Didn't get to her in time.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Why? What was the breed?
No idea. They were also a beagle. They were a beagle breed as well, a black and white one.
Huh?
And
That's weird.
The guy that we got Chloe from had no idea why. When we got Oliver was just a sweetheart. There was literally like the most quietest dog ever. Never even barked at strangers. Barely barked at all.
Did your brother this was when your brother was still really little too? Is that why they
No, kids.
were younger?
My brother, I think, was in high school or something.
Because I'm thinking of their dog.
Oh yeah,
shares a similar name.
Oh yeah, no. All of it was much much later once they got their own place. All of Chloe is when my dad was still living with us.
Wow.
So when my dad and mom
So
were
that
still
was a
together.
while ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. And the thing tried to attack me, and my dad grabbed it. He was like, "Nope, we're not keeping her."
Oh, I wonder what was wrong.
No idea.
Poor thing.
Wasn't treated bad. Wasn't.
Yeah, wasn't like abused or anything like that.
Nope.
I don't know. Maybe it might have just been like, because animals will have very like human issues sometimes, and you know how there's always those twisted stories of like people wanting to kill their own kids and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess, especially if there's something wrong, like if there's something like medically wrong with the animal, dogs and cats can do that. Because I told you about. I'll get to it later.
Yeah.
That's odd. I've heard about that in cats. I haven't heard about that in dogs.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very, very weird. We then, after Chloe, though, we got another dog for Oliver to have a friend, and that was Little Bit.
Everybody had a little bit. My aunt had one that was a fucking Siamese Satan from hell.
Little bit was I think she was a Pomeranian. Stuff. Tiny little thing. That was from my grandmother. Sweetest little puppy ever.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very sweet dog. Poor thing.
Pomeranians are a strong but small but powerful breed.
Yeah, poor thing though passed away. Though I think from old age, because she was a bit of an older dog. Stuff. But
How
it was,
old was she?
I can't remember. It's been so long. You know? It was
Pomeranians love. My ex, or my brother's ex had a Pomeranian.
Yeah, but she was cute. She was a yipper.
Oh,
Stuff.
like prim.
But always did like the thing where she would put her paws out and kind of like
12 to 16 years. That's actually a really long time for a small breed.
Not bad actually.
No.
But yeah, and then we lost Oliver. He ran away and then just never came back. That was like the third time he did that, and this time we couldn't find him, which sucked because you know what happened. But then that's when we started. We had more cats. There was who was there? There was my grandmother's cat. It was a fat thing, very very fat cat. There was Charlie. She had a litter, stuff. We've had multiple cats in the house before.
What was the transition like from having dogs to cats?
The less noise. Like,
it's surprising, isn't it? But then you're like, man, it's too quiet. Where's the cat?
yeah. And, you know, the cat was
What's
like
your knee?
a great experience. And then we've also had fish in the house as well. I'm kind of backtracking, but like we've had fish a couple times here and there. My mom telling me they went to the hospital and suddenly they had new fish when my old ones were gone. Yeah, no, they were dead. That's the hard thing about fish. It's like if you treat them, take care of them right, and do a good job with them, which I always did, and Mom always helped me. They can last a long time, but some fish species just don't live long. They just
really don't.
It's not even like bad condition. It's not even just like genetic things. It's just literally like the fish is there and it's not. Like that's just how it is.
Something just happens. Something in the water is off at just like one point, or something might be wrong with the fish.
Or it could be just literally nothing, and you just find out the fish just died of old age.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like you have no idea. Like I gotta scoot over.
Yeah.
Because you keep hitting my chair.
And you know that just happens. That's just like the life with fish. You know, and I like fish. I love fish. Like not just to eat, but I like pet fish. I do think they're really cool. I would love to hopefully someday get fish again because they wouldn't be. I forgot him with fish might be a little.
Well, he's never been around an aquarium. He'll be really curious though. That's my one worry.
That's fair, but like if I ever could, I would probably want to have more like those in-wall tanks so the cat couldn't even get near them. Just look at the glass thing, which those aren't hard to get either. You can ask them to be installed with the house.
Yeah.
Or people to work around, but I don't know. I just liked having fish. I like unique fish, and I like the tropical ones too.
I'd love to be able to have a koi pond.
Yeah, because you can have that like all year round. Like they just sleep in the winter. And they get really big if you treat them right too.
When we go to the plant store, they've got that big koi fish pond on the inside. It's so cool.
And koi are like so used to people. Like you can get to the point.
People.
You can get to the point where you can pet them. Like it's crazy.
Catfish that my old friends, grandparents had on their property. They had a big pond. It was full of catfish. They take a Folgers can. Scoop it full of dog or cat food and sprinkle it out there. They come swimming right up to the surface, nomming on it like crazy, and then just wait for another scoop to be flung.
Yeah, it's super cool. And like I mentioned before, I've had crabs as well. I've had hermit crabs, multiple of them.
Oh, my cousin has hermit crabs.
We didn't have them for long. They did pass away, but again, hermit crabs.
They're very particular.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way. We had one that was an asshole, had a red shell. Called a Menace. He was really funny. Fucking pinched me.
Like your stepdad's cat, Menace.
Yeah. And they just didn't end up lasting long, which is a shame. But we didn't try it again because we also had crabs, which don't do this. We didn't buy them. We took them from the beach.
Honey.
I was a kid. We had no idea.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, crabs, and we had them like in a little tank, and then we fed them like hermit crab food, and they actually lasted for a while until they died. But But don't do that. That's apparently
you're
not good
allowed
to do.
do that.
So yeah, that was a no bueno. But hey, I loved animals. So, my sister had a hamster. Both of them, Phoebe and Mia, have had hamsters before, which was not bad of an experience. They fucking stink though.
They do.
Yeah.
You have to really keep them clean. But they smell better than ferrets,
Yeah.
which is sad. I want a little noodle.
Yeah. What else? There was Chuck, my lizard that I had, who I loved to death until
What kind of lizard?
She was a yellow-plated lizard.
Ooh.
Yes. So a yellow-plated lizard was, they had like a long body, long tail, blue tongue, but they had a yellow pattern going all the way down their back. So hence why they're called yellow-plateds. We also found out Chuck was a girl later on. Did not know that
Yeah.
until we showed the pet store guy. And you're like, oh yeah, look at our lizard, isn't he cute? And he goes like, you mean she? And we're like, what? Like, that's a she, not a he. You're like,
Noted.
We just stuck with Chuck or Chuckarina. So,
Karina.
but poor Chuck ended up also passing away as well, because we just couldn't get food in time and felt really bad. But I loved that lizard to death. I used to let it crawl on my shoulder and stuff.
I am willing to try to have a lizard. I've wanted a gecko
Yeah,
or a bearded for a long time.
yellow-plated lizards aren't that hard to take care of either. Actually, let me show you. Let me try to find a picture for you to show you what they look like. They actually are really cute. And yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's what Chuck used to look like. Yeah, like that.
Oh, cute!
Yeah, they used to look like this is what they usually look like. Very, very, very cute. They're very little. They got the teeny legs. I told you they have the long, slender body though. The long tail.
Looks kind of like
Eh.
we've got little lizards outside that are native to Ohio.
Yeah.
But they're blue-tailed skinks or something like that, and they're poisonous.
Mm-hmm.
But the outside cats will grab them like crazy.
Yeah.
They eat them. The
Chuck
cats are
loved
okay.
Chuck loved her crickets too. Eat
Oh, yeah.
them up so fast. Hilarious.
I'm gonna get a lizard.
Then after that we had a snake, which in fairness that was also not going to last long. That was more John's thing. He was really excited for a snake. And the thing just refused to eat for some reason. Like,
Aww.
yeah, you remember he told us the story about that. Like,
Yeah.
it just refused to eat.
Ooh.
And the thing would have probably died in the winter too, because we lost power, which sucks.
Was it just stubborn or stressed?
There is a thing with snakes where if you take them out of their environment they're used to, they won't want to eat at all.
They're very temperamental because even the smallest, slightest change
Mm-hmm.
is
Totally.
going to throw off their entire routine.
Yeah, and remember these are captive snakes too. Ones that are bred in captivity, not ones in the wild. Because the ones in the wild are adaptive. These ones are not.
Yeah.
Poor things.
Or certain kinds of snakes, because I've heard ball pythons aren't. I've heard, this is not factual, that they are less. I don't know how else to word it other than temperamental about their environment.
They're not. Yeah, they don't mind where they are as long as you just have the right conditions for them. They'll totally be fine.
Yeah.
They're the most. From what I heard, ball pythons are not the most complicated snakes to take care of, but they still have required many needs.
Yeah.
I think the easiest
Kinda
snake,
like a
though.
hognose.
Yeah, love hognoses.
I want a hognose.
The easiest snake to take care of, though, I've heard, is a lot of people say the corn snake.
Yeah.
Just tiny little noodles, and just leave them in there, and they'll just chill, you know. And forget to mention though, after Oliver and some of the cats, that's when we got Daisy.
Daisy is their oldest beagle, and we've got pictures. We'll try to put them in either somewhere in here, or we'll put them at the end of the video, and there might be a picture of all of them, and we'll just do a little arrow in their name.
Yeah. There's Daisy, and then after Daisy was Gatsby.
Gatsby's the blonde beagle.
Yep.
That's got some health issues.
Daisy ended up having pups. Only one survived. We called her Lucky. Very cute puppy. Super cute, little.
It looked exactly like Daisy.
Not really. She actually had a gray and black palette.
Oh. Yeah, because what's Daisy?
Daisy is a black. She's right now a tri because she's white, brown, and black.
But she's 13.
But when she was younger, she was only a double color, which
Is
was
she 13 or 14 years old?
somewhere around there.
Okay.
She
She's
used
the
to
same
be
age as my dog back home.
brown and black.
Yeah.
That was her color she had. And then Gatsby and her had to pup. And there was Lucky, who was a gray, white, and black coloring, which is very interesting, seeing that mix. Gatsby's a lemon beagle, so he's blonde, so that might have something to do with it.
Could have been.
But she was adorable. She was just a little fat thing. We gave her to a new home because it was not easy taking her 2 dogs in a small house. 3 dogs in a small house, especially one that needed to be potty trained.
Yeah, potty training for dogs, it feels like it's so much more complicated.
Yeah, and Daisy was a good mother, though. It was really cute seeing her.
We call her Old Lady Daisy. She's so sweet.
But
my first day here, all the 2 little chihuahuas were, especially the smallest one, was really nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Daisy was the first one to come up and go, "Oh, new person," flopped down on my lap and was just like, "Give me love." Give me love. Love me.
She's so freaking cute. I love her. All that energy she still has.
Oh, I love it when she gets the zoomies because she's a little sausage.
Mm-hmm.
She is built short and stocky with a beaver tail.
But she'll move. She'll get moving.
When she gets the zoomies, she is as quick as my little cat in there.
Mm-hmm.
Our little cat. I'm sorry, I keep saying mine when.
Yeah,
He's my son. I raised him. I was a single mom.
We also still keep up with Lucky sometimes too. We followed the people on Facebook, and Lucky got big. She's actually bigger than Gatsby.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Huh. Much bigger than Gatsby. They changed her name, which is fine because that's their dog now. But yeah, she became a big mama and had pups of her own. Sorry, what thing?
I know. We got to figure out a better filming space because we sit in desk chairs and we like to move. I was moving a lot earlier trying to scoot over, and then I've got my little greenhouse thing in the back here, and then
sorry, I gotta stretch my leg.
No, you're good.
Continue.
Why don't you scoot back?
Wow.
Not all the way, but just a hair so I can scoot.
There we go.
I can't scoot anymore. Nope, because I'm right up against the wall. If I scoot anymore, I'm gonna break my greenhouse.
Don't want that.
No. And I had a hairbrush up my butt, apparently.
But then after Gatsby, we get Prim once we saw a little chihuahua.
Prim is the little one that doesn't like change.
She doesn't like change because we went to a different house and she just said, fine here. She doesn't like new people.
Yeah.
And
new animals, because you said while we were on vacation, she didn't react well to Olive.
Yeah. Little bully, she is.
She is a little bully. But at the same time, when we brought Leslie here, she's really curious about him. They had a standoff downstairs while we were at work the other day.
It was funny.
Leslie's very reactive, and I trim his claws and everything to make sure that he's not going to get one of the Chihuahuas' eyes. Thor, the dog we haven't talked about yet, is especially worrisome to me because he's got, most small dogs, their eyes are a little buggier. Mm-hmm. And I'm worried Leslie's gonna get him in the eyes.
Yeah.
But, she's curious about the cat. Because they've never been around cats. She's curious about him. Thor wants to play with him. Gatsby has no idea what the fuck he is. Daisy does not give a damn. Mm-hmm. It is hilarious. She walked right past him when he was downstairs a while ago and did not faze at all. He growled and hissed at her, and she was just like, what the fuck?
She just walked past him. Didn't even look at him.
No.
No,
to bark at the dogs that were outside that we put outside because the cat was downstairs and they were causing a ruckus. Mm-hmm. Oh, lordy.
And yeah, Thor was the last one we got.
The little meatball.
Yeah, big old brown.
He got eyebrows.
Head. Got eyebrows. He's a chunka.
I got a cute. Wait a minute. I got cute pictures of the dogs. So let me go on my camera roll and show you all the pups.
Yeah. Show us the beasts that live in the house and stuff.
Okay, so. Oh man, I don't have the pictures of Daisy and Gappy.
I got them though.
Yeah, you show Daisy and Gatsby. Go.
Daisy and Gapper.
Gappy goo.
Gapper goo goo.
Oh wait a minute, I have the pictures that I've sent my parents.
Oh yeah, use those. But we shall show the family.
So we'll start oldest. That's old lady Daisy. She asleep in the office.
And right next to her is Gatsby.
Yeah. That's Daisy. That's Gappy.
Yeah.
Gatsby, unfortunately, has a lump. You can see that,
Yeah, he's dealing with
at
some stuff, but
point.
we're getting it all sorted out. This is Thor, the youngest, the baby.
Oh, wait, where's the good picture I have of Thor? I got a really cute picture of Meatball.
And that's Prim.
Prim is a little sassy thing.
Yes, she is. She's just sassafras, and we love her for it.
I've got the good picture of Thor. Here we go. That's Thor.
Yeah, he does that. His meerkat
He
stance.
meerkats. It's adorable.
It's fucking hilarious.
And he honks. Hold on.
Must be a slow day. Yeah, that's him. He's a pig, not a dog.
Oh, no, you don't. I got you, baby.
That was hilarious. We had to take them to the vet.
Just for their checkups.
Yeah, just for annual checkups.
Lord Almighty, it
That was hilarious.
So
But it
fun.
was also really like anxiety inducing because there was a reactive pit or bully breed there, and they didn't like small dogs.
Yeah.
And that was the moment where all of us we weren't trying to panic, but we had Prim. And
Yeah.
Prim was reactive. Thor was already back there. Okay.
Yeah, interesting situation, that one. But now on to you. with
Yeah.
your Pet Palooza.
So I
Mama
grew up.
Palooza.
I grew up with a plethora of cats, but technically speaking, my first pet was Sarah, my goldfish. Yes, I named her after me. That I got from our fall festival.
Nice.
Now, she lasted a really long time, and she went from the size of like the end of my thumb to like that big by the time she had passed away. And the whole reason she passed away was because my mom went to clean her tank and put her in a smaller fishbowl. That we always put her in the smaller one so we could clean the big one because it was like about that big, that wide, nice and big for one fish, and then a couple of snails and the the ones that stick to the side of the tank that help clean the tank.
Yeah, filter fish.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. They
Yeah.
look kind of like a mini catfish.
Yeah.
I love those
them.
things. Mom had the stones that we had, because we had glow-in-the-dark stones at the bottom of her tank, had boiled them in hot water with dish soap,
Mm.
and didn't rinse them off in cold water like she thought she did, and put her back in the tank with hot water in it.
Yeah.
So she cooked my fish. Now, granted, my mom worked at the hospital at the time. She was exhausted having to do that. So she felt bad, like, but that was when we had a cat. That was when we got Linus. Now, Linus was, I don't have any pictures of Linus, and I feel bad. I got a new phone, so I don't have any pictures of my old animals. But Linus was before we had smartphones. This was 2003. So I was 5. No, I was younger. It was younger than that. It was like early 2000s, regardless. But I was like 3 or 4 when we went and got him, and he was this teeny tiny little thing. It was white with like stripes like Leslie has on him and spots. And he had a roommate. His name was Cole. He was a black cat. We went to somebody's house that my mom used to clean for the doctor that lived there, the vet that lived there, and her doctor husband. And it was a huge house that had all these cats. But we had Linus, and Linus was a boy. Linus was also named after Charlie Brown's Linus that carries around the blue blanket. And he was my cat. I was 5 years old, 4 or 5. I was 3 to 6 years old. Did not know any better. I would put him in baby clothes. I accidentally shut him in the toy box when I was a kid, and he peed in the toy box. I cleaned my toys. He was fine. He still was fine with me. He was my dad's best friend. When we moved into our 2-story house when I was about 7 or 8 was when we started having problems with him, because they had 2 wiener dogs in that house, and the house was built from like the fucking 70s or something, because there was carpet everywhere except the bathroom. So the smell of the wiener dogs was in the carpet, and we would go into the dining room or something, and there would just be piss everywhere from the cat. Now, Linus was a good cat, except for the time that he attacked my brother. My brother would beat the shit out of that cat, put him in a corner, tease him, and all kinds of shit. Back a cat into a corner with a broom. He didn't like the broom. So Seth would back him into a corner, and he'd be swatting. And there were a couple of times where he defecated himself because he was so scared. And we were arguing about what dishes we had to do one of the weekends my brother was down. And Linus pounced on Seth when he dropped to his knees and was crying because he didn't want to do a certain chore that I wanted to do. And Linus bit him on top of the head. He has a scar, like, right here on top of his head where his fang just went straight in there. He never picked on him again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that was years of torment for that cat. And my brother hunts, so, like, smelling of deer urine and smelling like his dad's house, which they have all kinds of, like, hunting shit. So Linus obviously felt threatened. And then Mom kicked Linus out of the house because he was an unfixed tom, and we thought it was a lot more expensive to fix tomcats. And it might have been back in the day, so she put him outside. He was fine. He passed away of old age. And around the same time that he went, not missing, but when he ran away, because he didn't live on the property anymore, I found Stormy. Actually, no, because she interacted with Linus. Stormy looked exactly like Leslie. Just a little striped, brown and black striped cat. Was so small, and we found her in the middle of I think it was when a hurricane was, like, we were getting hurricane-like winds coming through Ohio.
Hence the name.
Yeah, hence the name Stormy, because it was a stormy night when we found her. But she had a fiery personality. My dad was adamant. Linus was his best friend. They'd sit on the couch and watch UFC fights together and eat ice cream together. He knew exactly what time my parents went to bed, and he would be tucked under my mom's blanket with his head on her pillow, waiting for her to get home from the hospital so she could curl up between my parents. Like, he was that kind of cat. So my dad was adamant about us not getting another cat when Linus got kicked out. He was like, I'm done with pets. You're not getting another one. Well, lo and behold, this little one in front of my father, who just said that. My mom and I are sitting out on our front porch, or on our back porch, talking to the cat and loving on her and everything. And she goes right over to the litter box that we had outside for Linus, in case he ever came back, because we had a little storm box for him. She went in there, peed in the litter box, covered it up, and went to the back door and sat in front of there like, you're gonna let me in. And we did. We let her in. Stormy is why I'm nervous about Leslie walking on the banister. Because when it was like barely even a few months after she had come in, she fell off the banister in our stairs. Now, she was barely even 1 year old. She was so small. She was so skinny. She was my best friend, though. She fell off the banister.
Yeah.
And she hit her head on the way down. And, she passed away that night and I remember I was sick, and my mom came upstairs to give me my medicine when she had just gotten in from work, and was like, I got to tell you, Stormy passed away. And I was so upset. And around the same time that we lost Stormy, my dad was like, okay, there's somebody I know from work that has that just welcomed a new litter of puppies. So that was when we got Rusty. You know me talking about Rusty. Rusty was this big shepherd mix kind of dog, And, like, he was a menace. He was a fucking menace.
A British society.
But we pull up there. I'm like 8 or 9 years old. We pull up there to the house, and we go to get out of the car. And this should have been our first clue about Rusty's demeanor. Rusty was never mean towards me, my mom, my younger nephew at the time, because my nephew Roddy was like, or not my nephew, my cousin Roddy was like, God, like a year old at the time.
Mm.
Rusty was very reactive. But we should have known when we got out of the car, out of my dad's 4Runner, that he was going to be reactive. Because the dad, who was a full-blooded German Shepherd, mix of something, came barreling towards us in that gravel driveway, gravel flinging everywhere, and they're like, get back in the car, get back in the car, get back in the car. We're like, what the fuck is going on? And he's jumping, snarling, growling at the car and everything. They get a muzzle on him and lock him in the house. The mom, on the other hand, was a beagle about the size of Gatsby. Calm as can be, with a whole litter of like 12 puppies following along behind her. Sweet as can be. She came over to me and was letting me pet her. She was like the size of a horse. She came up to me, was letting me pet her and love on her, and she just flops down on the ground and puts her big head on my little foot and is like, just take one of the puppies. And I picked Rusty. Rusty Grizzly, my last name because I'm not saying it. This fat, copper-colored puppy, the fattest one of the litter. And I'm like, this one, I want this one.
He looked like a potato.
He drooled the entire way home. He was excited about the car. He was a little meatball. He actually had the same markings as Meatball. He had white eyebrows.
Oh.
And he had a little white spot on his chest. That was where he liked to be like scratched, because you'd scratch him there and he'd just like, oh. But he didn't stay in the house. He was going to be a house cat, or a house dog. He did not stay in the house. And this was when we still had Linus, before we had Stormy.
Mm-hmm.
He came in the house one day. We did our best to keep him inside until he reached a year old. We reached about 9 months, and we couldn't keep him in the house. He destroyed furniture, he destroyed toys, we couldn't get him potty trained, so we were like, okay, you're gonna have to go outside. So Dad built him this huge kennel, wrapped it 3 or 4 times around with chicken wire to make sure no animals were gonna get in, and he wasn't gonna be able to get out and hurt anybody, because again, he was very reactive. He was so reactive that he would chew my dad's tools. He went after my dad a time or two. He loved me and my mom. He loved us, and he loved my granddad. My granddad would throw, because we'd feed him table scraps, which I know you shouldn't have done, but this was our way of taking care of him. He would pull potatoes, like baked potatoes, between his paws and peel the skin off of them. He was the first dog I saw slurp spaghetti. He also, my grandfather threw a whole rotisserie chicken over the fence.
Oh, he became the favorite.
Oh, he was so happy. But my granddad would make noise in his garage with music playing, and the music would soothe Rusty. Kind of like a Beauty and the Beast kind of situation.
Kind of like someone I knew.
Or Fluffy in Harry Potter.
Yeah. Kind of like someone who I knew, they had a big, reactive Saint Bernard, right? Very, very loud, very rambuscus.
We tried
dog.
to train him. It was... There's just some dogs that you can't, and he was one of the dogs that you couldn't.
Yeah, and I love the story. How they got that Saint Bernard trained was because their granddad, he had like a kind of bit of like a Mongolian like background and stuff. He's like half Mongolian, half German, right? So he has that side with him. Apparently, what I learned too is that his great granddad trained Tibetan Mastiffs specifically for hunting and killing wolves and stuff. He was like a breeder for that. He was like the best breeder around his town, and he's like saying like they were like telling him like, yeah, like he just keeps ripping and biting everything. He's loud. He barks at random stuff. Like he's just rambunctious and loud. And he was like, I'll take care of it. Comes over, dog starts barking and barreling at him and stuff. Takes a giant slab of like freshly cutted elk meat that he just like hunted yesterday,
And he just sits.
and he just chucked that son of a bitch right at the dog, and he just went to town. And that's when he just got the dog to just like, and he goes like, feed him like this like twice a day, and he'll be like the happiest puppy alive.
No.
It's like, just feed him elk, and there you go.
See, Rusty was also the kind of dog, like, he had such thick fur, we would pack his outside box, which Dad made his box. His box was wood. I still have halfway to go with all my other pets.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
So this might be a little bit of a longer video, and I'm sorry. But, Rusty would, like, tear out the packing in his box that we would put in there for the winter because he was already so thick and fluffy. But because of everything that happened with Stormy, this was also the same time Dad was like, okay, Mom knows somebody. It was always somebody knew somebody who had like a litter. This was when we got Pepper and Buttons. Pepper and Buttons were our 2 black cats. Whoever made up the stigma that black cats bring bad luck have never met my family, because the time when we had both of those cats, everything was perfect. Like, Mom and Dad were getting raises, I was doing well in school, like, we were very comfortable. We were at, like, that moment of, like, where we were upper, lower class, lower middle class, like, right in that bunch where we were starting to figure everything out. And then we lost the house. But Pepper was this real skinny black cat with white fur in her ears and flecked all throughout her fur. She did not like us. She did not like people. She liked certain times being picked up and everything. Buttons was this lovable fat cat. Think Salem from Sabrina. That was Buttons. And when we lost the house, the 2-story house, we had to move back into the block house, which was where I grew up, and I had Linus. We brought them with us, obviously, and we brought Rusty. And around the same time, Rusty had passed away because we think our neighbors poisoned him, or he got into something with, like, some kind of poisonous frog or something that was around there. Pepper and Buttons had gotten out, and they both got pregnant. And Pepper had her litter first. She was the best mother, and her attitude changed like that. The second she had her kittens, her first kitten, she picked it up in her mouth and waddled into the living room where we were and plopped it on as gently as she could onto the carpet and was like, "Look what I did."
I made up.
I made this, and then she's going into labor with the other 2. That was Cleo and Zeus, her two kids. She had one litter that she had outside that she then gave birth to another litter. The first one ate the second. And then she had Cleo and Zeus. And Cleo and Zeus followed us to the house that Mom and Dad are in now. But Buttons also had babies. She had Snuggle and I cannot remember the other one's name, but the other one had like messed up feet.
Yeah.
Was born with really messed up feet, so they didn't really last the winter. Snuggle, on the other hand, my brother got, and this was when my brother was going through drugs and all kinds of stuff, and I don't know what she had gotten into. She went bonkers. And Seth threw her out, had no idea what the fuck happened to her. Buttons was not a good mom. Which was surprising because she was the most affectionate, lovey-dovey, sweet cat that we had ever had. No idea why. She was an awful mother. Pepper took in Snuggles when she was too little to be weaned, and she nursed her and made sure she was okay. And we found out Pepper wasn't producing enough milk, so we went and bought mother's milk. And we bought mother's milk, and you can actually give it to the moms, and it helps reestablish that nutrition that they lose when they give birth.
Yeah.
So she was happy as a lamb. All the other kittens were good. Everything was fine. Around this time, like I said, was when Rusty passed away. This was when we got Nitro. Nitro is our 13-year-old rescue. That was about 1.5 years when we got him. And he's been here since 2015. He is my dad's best friend. My dad bonds very quickly with animals. So Rusty is perfect. When we moved into the house that we're in now, not this one, but the one back in Ohio, it came with Spooky. Spooky is a stray cat. We've had a bunch of stray cats. We have one named Casper. Casper was the one that got in the fight with the chickens.
Yeah.
That lost an eye, but won the battle. She was spunky. She went after the neighborhood pit bull. That was an absolute menace. Like, we killed the neighbor chickens and everything. I sound like such a hick. But, she won that fight, too. But we had Spooky, and around the same time we found Spooky, we found Trisket, who was my kitten at the time, because she warmed up to me so quickly. Spooky is sisters with Reese Cup, which Reese Cup is my mom's baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
And we also had another Tom around. His name was Polly, and he looked like he was a white cat with a yellow tip and bright blue eyes. My mom named him after Paul Newman. But Spooky, hence her name, doesn't let us touch her. She's, to this day, does not let us touch her. We've been in that house for about, 10 years now. She will not let us touch her. But she trusts us with her babies. Because there was something wrong with Trisket when we moved, and we started taking care of her, we started cleaning her eyes properly and all that kind of stuff, and she healed, she got okay, and she got pregnant at about a year old, and she had Mushu. You remember me telling you about Mushu? Mushu was my first cat on my own. And yes, she's named after Mushu from Mulan, because I am a basic bitch.
Hell yeah.
Trisket didn't last very long. She didn't make it to her second birthday. I don't know what she got into, but we found her passed away in the yard, stiff as a board. And that was around the same time Mushu was really little. And Mushu had a respiratory thing, so she whistled when she would breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And we brought her inside. This was when Spooky had another litter, and she had Butterscotch. Butterscotch is the one that's an orange and white cat that yowls when she's in heat. That's Butterscotch.
Yeah.
Reese Cup took to Butterscotch and Mushu about what you would expect, because she was a couple of years old and she did not want kids. too late. She's got it. Reese Cup is now a sassy old lady. And I'm gonna say old because she is technically in human years she is 55 years old. Mm-hmm. So she's older than my mom. She likes her food a certain way. She likes certain canned food. She will not eat pate. It has to be shreds. It has to be in gravy. That's where Leslie gets it from. And speaking of the monster himself, now this leads to Leslie. I'm sorry I'm going on for so long, but I've had a lot more cats than you.
No, that's fine. And honestly, ended it on Leslie's perfect because he's here now.
Leslie is here now, but Leslie is not the last one that we've gotten. I've already spoken on my own channel about the hardships that Leslie has went through.
Yes.
Found him in the middle of a storm. He didn't have a good time with his tail. Something was wrong with his tail.
If you want all that full detail, you definitely go to her channel.
Yeah. So I don't spew this again. But now we have Snickers, who my brother found up in a town that they were doing laying wiring in, and she looks exactly like Leslie, and she's very talkative, and we call her Snickerdoodle. She is such a sweet baby girl. Oh, she's so sweet. And then we have Gomez and Charlie, which Gomez and Charlie are the Yorkie Poo puppies that my parents now have. Charlie is my mom's. Gomez was mine, but now Gomez is just going to be my parents, and he's probably going to stay there with them. So yeah, that's my timeline of all my pets. It's a lot of death surrounding me.
So do I. A lot of losses, but hey, that's the life of pets. You get it. Eventually they will have to kick the bucket, but
and it's so sad.
It is sad, but as long as you gave them a good life and stuff, that's all that matters, right?
I was so worried when Leslie was going through his stuff because I didn't know if it was going to be a situation where I was going to have to put him down. Mm-hmm. I'll just say it verbatim. He tore off his own tail about 2 years ago.
Right now the motherfucker is sleeping in my bed.
And he's sound asleep in bed right now.
Yeah.
He, you can't see, but, he's terrified of ceiling fans. My ex that I lived with treated him like a rag doll. So Rylan and his stepdad, John, was sweet enough to
remove
take down
the
those
ceiling fans.
So Leslie could be comfortable.
Yeah, those ceiling fans sucked anyway.
Leslie loves you. I'm so happy with how quickly he warmed up to you.
He's just a baby.
Oh, he's his fucking favorite now. You stole my cat. I joke about that, but unless you're gone for D&D with your friends,
Do you have pets, sir? Those people walking outside.
unless you're gone for whatever reason, Leslie will not love up on me or sit with me. However, when you're gone and like the pups come up to go to bed in the middle of the night, if the door is shut and he hears them barking because they'll make noise when they come upstairs, he will jump between me and the door and growl.
Protect mama.
That's always been his instinct. When we were living in the camper for a bit, his first instinct when our first night there, when we heard like some ruckus outside, and I called you crying because I'm like, I don't know what to do because my neighbor was threatening to off himself. Leslie was standing. I have outside Linus. Leslie was standing between the door to the camper where he heard voices and me, and was all puffed up and growling while I'm on the phone with you. And then I hang up with you and I call my parents, and both my parents are asleep, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I felt awful having to leave him in the camper, but I didn't have his carrier with me.
Yeah.
But sorry, that took a lot longer than I expected.
It's fine. We have a lot of stories about that stuff. We'll definitely have a part 2 about like Reddit pet stories and
Yeah.
exotic pets and stuff like that.
If you want, tell us about your pets. Tell us about your pets in the comments.
Tell us about your pets in the comments down below, and don't forget to hit that bell, smack that like button in the ass, and like this video. Helps us out greatly.
Yeah, the more you interact with our videos, the more they get pushed out into the algorithm, so we can get more people to watch and hopefully grow our channel.
Exactly. But until that time, thank you all for joining us. We will see you all
in the next one.
Yeah.
Whatever that's going to be.
We'll figure it out.
Right.
See you guys.
Bye.